one.
Hello, my name is Rachel Bolton, and I'm giving speech number 2, the process speech, how to write an effective resume. The specific purpose of this is to inform my audience how to write an effective resume. The central idea is, with a little extra effort, you can create a resume that makes you stand out as a superior candidate for a job that you are seeking. The resume is a tool with one specific purpose: to win an interview. If it doesn't, it isn't an effective resume. The bad news is that your present resume is probably much more inadequate than you now realize. You will have to learn and how to think in a totally different style that might be completely new to you. In this day and age, there are many people competing for just a few jobs. An employer may have 1 or 2 positions available. This may be the perfect job for you, but it is also the perfect job for maybe 100 or 1,000 other people too. The prospective employer may have a huge stack of resumes and cover letters to go over. This can be very boring, and your resume may get overlooked if it does not have that extra something that grabs the attention of the employer. Most resumes get a quick glance and thrown back into the huge pile that never gets called for an interview. With the extra effort that grabs the attention of the employer, your resume gets put into the thin pile that gets called in for an interview. Resumes are needed by employers to pass the screening process. The resume provides your educational level, your experience, and to give basic facts that may favorably influence the employer. The resume also provides very important contact information, such as an up-to-date address and phone number, to establish you as a professional person based on the fact that your resume is so well written, to help you clarify your direction, qualifications, and strengths. Most people write a resume because everyone knows that you have to have one to get a job. It is a mistake to think of your resume as a history of your past. Even though most of the content of any resume is focused on your job history, you still need to write with the intention to create interest from your employer. If you write with that goal to create interest, your final product will be very different than if you write to inform your job history. If you realize that a great resume can be the ticket to getting exactly the job that you want, you may be able to muster some genuine enthusiasm for creating a real masterpiece rather than the feeble products that some people do turn out. You must not make claims that are not true. If you're trying to get a job in a field that you are familiar with, it is likely that you already know what would make the perfect candidate. If you are not familiar with that job field, you can gather hints from the help wanted ads. You can gather information from other employees of the place, or you can even do your own internet research. Put yourself in the person's shoes who's doing the hiring first. Get clear what the employer is looking for and what makes the perfect person for the job before you start. Start writing. Prepare sheets of paper with writing what qualities or abilities you think would be most important to the person doing the hiring. Don't just list your work-related accomplishments. Use your entire life of accomplishments as ideas to build on. The point is to cover all possible ways of thinking about and communicating what you do well. If you're making a career change, you're going to have to be especially creative in making yourself stand out. A great resume has 2 sections. In the first part, you list your abilities, qualities, and achievements. Be honest, but write in a way that makes the reader perk up and see you as special. The second section is the evidence section, where you back up the qualities you just listed. The employer is interested in hiring you for what you can do for them. So your objective should never be fulfilling your own self-needs. You should be fulfilling the needs of the employer first. Your resume will only get a few seconds of attention, so your objective must stand out to the employer as they need you. You want the employer to recognize where you are going with your qualities and abilities. You can include your objective in your summary. Your summary of qualifications consists of several statements that will focus the employer's attention on your most important qualities and abilities that will be related to the job. It is your one and only chance to get across what is most important and to entice the employer to keep reading. The summary is the one place to include your professional characteristics such as a gift for solving problems, a great multitasker, great interpersonal skills, and energetic. All are good examples. The most common ingredients of a well-written summary are as follows. A short phrase describing your profession. Depth and unique of mixed skills. Environments in which you have experience. History of awards or promotions. A sentence or two explaining your objective. List jobs in reverse chronological order. Do not go into detail about jobs earlier in your career. Focus on your most recent attributes. Decide what jobs are most impressive and list those first. Use headings such as professional history or professional experience, not employment or work history, both of which sound more lower level. List education also in reverse chronological order. Degrees or licenses first, followed by certificates and any advanced training that you may have. Set degrees apart so that they are easily seen. Put in boldface whatever is the most impressive. If you are working on an uncompleted degree, include the degree and afterwards, in parentheses, the date that you're expected to have the degree. Professional affiliations should only include those that are current, relative, and impressive. You may put references available upon request at the end of your resume if you wish. This is a standard close. Do not include actual names of references. You can bring a separate sheet of references along to give the employer upon request at the interview. Your finished product should be visually enticing. There is consistency in your font. There are absolutely no errors. All the basic expected information is included. Writing is concise and to the point. It has focus, power words that are impressive. Make it look great. Shorter is usually better. Experience before education and a telephone number that will be answered. If you follow these few guidelines on how to write an effective resume, you will stand out above the crowd when your future employee is doing the daunting and boring task of reviewing resumes for interviews. These steps will show to be more interesting than the usual boring traditional resumes. This will give you a greater chance of getting called in for an interview. Thank you much for listening to my speech to my audience. Randy, Ashley, Sylvia, and Dorcas, thank you very much. The end.